So it's another weekend, it's another Saturday, and every Saturday, remember it's the Study Abroad podcast with the Fred Effect. On the podcast, I invite individuals who have been through the process to share their experience, their journey, how they got to where they are successfully, and you who is interested in pursuing a similar journey to know how you can also go about it. Today we are talking about nursing. If you are an international nurse, if you're a registered nurse in Ghana, if you're in school studying nursing in Ghana, if you're in a different field that and the aim is to transition to become a registered nurse abroad or in specifically in the US, how do you go about it? My guest has an experience as an international nurse and currently a practicing nurse in the US. So she's going to share her journey, her experience, and how you can also do it. Remember to be part of the conversation. We are live across all the Fred Effect social media platforms on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, and also on TikTok. Drop your questions in the chat. I'll be happy to respond to them. And as we have the conversation, let me bring my guest on and we get started. You have to unmute your microphone. Let's see. Okay. So we've been having some technical challenges. So if you noticed, we couldn't start the regular time we are supposed to because we had to, fix out some stuff and all that. Hi, let me know if you can hear me now. Can you hear
Yes,
me
I
now?
can. Yes, I can hear you
Awesome.
now.
Let's get started. So for the thousands of people tuning in, seeing your beautiful face for the first time, kindly introduce yourself so we get started.
Hi, everyone. So people call me, you can call me Akosia, but my official name is Linda Enchua, and I'm a US RN BSN.
And to add then, that is like Otiko Koso Nana, right?
As you can see.
So where are you originally from in Ghana though?
Kumasi.
Kumasi is like huge, so I can trace my roots somewhere to Joso Kwaso, a Sinin Pond there. So where do you trace your root there?
I traced mine to Agona.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. So you are a registered nurse currently in the US, but let's talk about your academic qualifications back home in Ghana. What did you study?
Back home for SS, I did home economics,
Okay,
and then I went to nursing in Ghana too.
all
So
right.
from home economics and then nursing, and I did diploma in nursing, as we call it.
All right. So you see, in Ghana, we have the 2-year community nursing, we have the 3-year diploma in nursing, and we have the 4-year. Which of them are you referring to?
I did it 3 years.
Oh, which institution was that?
SDA NMTC. It
Okay,
was only in Kwadaso then, but now they have a campus in Barakese. So it
okay.
used to be Kwadaso SDA nursing training. Now it's SDA nurses training and midwifery.
So for somebody who had a home economics background back from Ghana, what actually inspired you to want to be a nurse?
Initially, to be honest, it wasn't in my thing too. I actually did like a 1 year hospitality and tourism at Gimpa in
Okay.
Accra, and family wanted me to be a nurse. When you are planning your career, you can't take your parents and your family out of your
Yeah.
planning. So I got inspired by a few people who were already in the field,
Mhm.
and they're like, "We think you're going to be, it will be nice for you to be a nurse." So that's what that was what brought me. So I deferred my program for Gimpa, and then when I got admission, because then you have to buy a lot of forms, and then
Yeah.
you try to apply to other institutions. So I got an admission there, and a lot of advice came through. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and I haven't regretted making that decision.
Oh, so that means family was right. So that means family was right, right? Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments. My guest cannot hear me now. We try to fix that. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know in the comment section. If you could hear me. If you're just joining, this is the Study Abroad podcast with the Fred Effect. Invite individuals who have been through the Study Abroad process to share their experience and also their journey and how you can also do it. Okay, so people can hear. Let me know if you can hear me now. Okay. Nurse is having a bit of a challenge. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, better. So I was asking then family was, so you know, there are several times where you want to become something. Family said, okay, we want
Mhm.
you to do this. And it end up to be something that personally you don't enjoy. So I'm trying to find out if, you know, family was right, like the nursing was perfect for you.
I think they were they were right, and I don't think they were right. They knew initially, growing up, I wanted
Mhm.
to be in the health field, but as you grow and you see other fields that to you people are doing well, and the office sitting and the dressing and everything,
Right,
but those were just looking at the surfaces. They were right. I've only been a nurse. I've only done nursing, and I love what I do, and
right.
I love being a nurse, and I'm glad I'm in the profession, to be honest.
So after the diploma in nursing, how long did you practice in Ghana?
For Ghana, I would say I didn't practice long. I only did my rotation, and I did my rotation at Bekwai Municipal Hospital.
Okay.
So right from there, I had I was back to the classroom. So I
Mhm.
didn't do a hospital job. After I was back to the classroom to be an assistant tutor for advanced basic nursing, advanced nursing and medicine. So that's what I did. Back to Kwadaso as the NMTC. So I was an assistant tutor there.
Oh, okay. So that was you getting a BSN or that was another
No,
job?
that was just with my diploma nursing.
Oh, okay. So,
They were
so
introducing that program. Sorry, they were introducing that program to where they were bringing fresh nurses back into the institution to help with, especially the practical aspects. So that was what I got the opportunity to do.
okay. So when did the USRN then come into the picture?
I used to, well, let me say, I traveled to the United States then,
Mhm.
and then I decided to continue my journey from here.
Oh, okay. So you didn't move to the US as a nurse, but you came on a different category of visa. However, when you
I did.
got in, then you decided to continue your passion for being a nurse.
That's right.
All right.
Yes.
So, for somebody listening to us, you know, what sort of academic qualification do you need from your home country to become a US RN? So do you need a diploma? Do you need the community nursing, the 2 years, or do you necessarily need a bachelor's degree?
So you can be either of the three that you have talked about.
Okay.
You can be a community health nurse.
Mhm.
One thing in Ghana, we have a lot of division in our nursing field.
Okay.
I'm still learning some of them that we have. We have the community health prevention. We have the community. Last time someone told me the community, we have the prevention, then we have the hack, we have the diploma, and then the degree. Either one that you have, you can use it to travel. The best thing is how you're going to, the thing is how you're going to do it. So me, I have a diploma.
Okay.
With this education, let's refer to it as an associate degree
Okay.
because that is where sometimes the confusion comes in here. Because when you come to America, a diploma is a high school degree, as
Mhm.
you know. And then in Ghana, we call our 3-year degree program diploma.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be associate degree in America. So it's equivalent to associate degree. So if you have your 3-year diploma, that means you have an associate degree. If you
Yeah.
have the 4-year degree, then you have your bachelor's degree.
Yes.
So the best way that is able to get you here is either an associate degree or a bachelor's degree.
Oh, okay.
However, if you have the community health nurse, then you can apply for what we call LPN. Especially if you're already in the United States, if you have an enrolled nursing or a community health community nursing, you can enroll into the LPN program. Other states call it LVN,
Mm.
licensed vocational or licensed practical nurses. If you have associate degree or degree, a 4-year degree, then you can do the registered nurse RN.
Okay. So if somebody do not have like a qualification in nursing, either the community, the the associate degree or the bachelor's, and maybe they studied a different thing. They studied music in school, they studied something else. Is it possible for such an individual to still transition to become a nurse in the US?
Good. In that way, you have to go to nursing school.
Okay.
One thing about nursing in America is that you don't have to have a science background as it is in our country to be a nurse in America. That's
Mm.
one thing. Back home, you have to either have studied home economics or general arts or as a science student to be able to go into nursing, whether it's nursing a degree in nursing or a nursing school, as we call it. But in America here, your background can be anything, and you can still go and pursue nursing. But you can't just transition into being a nurse and start practicing. You have to go to school. So in that way, you're going to go through the school route to become a nurse.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Mhm.
So mostly, I don't know if is midwifery back home in Ghana different from midwifery in the US?
It is different when it comes to the degree that you hold. I think the
Mm.
practice have some similarities. When you come to America, the degree is a master's degree program. In Ghana, it is a diploma degree. It's total different. So
Yeah.
in America, before you can practice or be called a midwife, you have to be a registered nurse, you have the experience, and then you go back to school for your degree program in midwifery. So it's not a direct entry program. It's not just something you can do just straight away from high school. You have to become a nurse first. Back home in Ghana, right from high school, you can go into a midwifery school,
Mhm.
get your associate degree, and become a midwife. So it's quite different the way it is here in America.
All right. So my next question is then, if somebody has um, a, um, a qualification in nursing, whether being a community or the associate degree or what we call diploma or the bachelor's, does
Mhm.
that individual have the same level of opportunities in terms of transitioning to become a US RN, just like somebody with a diploma in midwifery? So if I hold a diploma in midwifery, can I go through the same route to become a US RN?
You can, two ways. It's a yes and a no question here.
Right.
There are some states that do not accept associate degree in midwifery to become RNs. There are some
Okay.
states they don't allow that. And there are some states that will allow that. Some states will allow you to become an RN. Some states will not. They will allow you to become an LPN and then you work your way up. The way that works, if you have a degree in midwifery, you have an upper hand because you have some of the courses that is expected as an RN to have pursued. If you have a diploma or what we call associate degree, sometimes they lack some credits that make them eligible for the RN course.
Mhm.
Therefore, you either have to be an LPN or you have to do a top-up, course to be able to become an RN. Some states will deny you in total. Some states will allow you to kind of top yourself up and then come. One thing is that if you have a degree, and your grading is good, your grades are good, you can do the RN program directly. And not every credential evaluation service does real a good job when it comes to being a midwife. You have to find the one that really work with what they call kind of a vocational form of nursing. So when it
Right.
comes to psychiatric nursing and midwifery, there are some evaluation services that kind of takes that part and they do a good job than others. So that's one thing that you need to find a balance where you want to go. So you have to consider the state and what credential evaluation service that will help you to be eligible.
If you're just tuning in, speaking with Nurse Akosia, originally with a nursing qualification from Ghana and now a US RN. She's sharing with us how her process went and how you who also want to go through the same route can go about it. If you're not late, we just got started. Be part of the conversation. If you share, if you like, if you comment, you automatically join the draw that we have every single week. If you know anybody who wants to transition from their academic qualification to US, then tell them that the Fred Effect is the highest, the biggest platform they can follow. Because of Nurse Akosia's experience, she also guides people to go through a similar process. Talk to us about your social media handles and how people can get in touch with you. What form of coaching and services do you offer that people could get in touch with?
Thank you. So when it comes to mine, I do mostly TikTok. For my social media platforms, the one that is very active is my TikTok And I have a TikTok bio. I have a link tree in my bio that you can schedule a one-on-one call with me. You
Mhm.
can DM me. I can send you the link to schedule a call. I do mentorship. I do coaching. I help people through the NCLEX registration. And sometimes I also have nurses that have already done their NCLEX. They have passed, but they need coaching as to how to start as a new nurse, what they need to know, just helping them to boost their confidence, just knowing, because I've been a nurse for quite a while. I've done different type of nursing, so I'm able to help them. Some people also need help choosing which field should I go to. I was a midwife. I now have my RN, which area of nursing will be better for me. They
Yeah.
want that. And I also help people with their resumes, because that's one of the biggest issue we have. Nurses, especially coming from Ghana, we have nothing to do with resume, because right from nursing school, the government absorbs us, so we don't have to go through building a resume and going for interviews. So it's
Mm.
not something we are privy to.
Yeah.
The most people I have met, you will know that they don't know much about building a resume, sitting in an interview, an official interview, and how to go about it. So that is also something that I do. I help you to um, build your resume, because right now resume building is a very crucial part of being able to earn a job, and also some of the things you need to know before you sit for an interview. As a person that usually sits in interviews at work, I'm able to share some experiences with my nurses.
Okay, so I'm going to pick different scenarios and you walk us through how we should start the process. So I have a diploma, a 3-year diploma, maybe completed from Quada, so in nursing. Um, do I have to have a certain number of years practice in Ghana before I start my journey to become a USRN?
The happy part of this whole thing is that when it comes to the NCLEX, you don't need experience
Okay.
to write the NCLEX. However, if
Mhm.
you want to go through the agency route, if you are in Ghana already, I tend to deal with a lot of nurses that have already migrated to the US.
Okay.
But if you are in Ghana and you want to start the process, for now, the way things are going, most people are getting chances with agencies more than direct hire. I'm not saying the direct hire is not going, it's still
Mhm.
going. But with everything that has been happening since 2020, when they did the Operation Nightingale, they were able to fish out a lot of what they call as fake nursing degrees. The
Right.
hospitals are a little skeptical about, hiring you directly from your country when they can't do a background check on you. So most people are getting more chances with agency. If you want to go through the agency route, the agency wants some experience,
Okay.
because they are going to take you through the process in your home country, and they are going to get you a job directly. And before you get hired, they want to make sure that at least you know what you are doing. You have done some nursing and you have some experience. But the
Oh,
NCLEX itself, taking the NCLEX itself, that's you don't have to have any experience. It is almost like what we do in Ghana. After nursing school, you take your licensure. The NCLEX is just a licensing exams. So right from nursing school, you can take the NCLEX. Right from nursing school, you can take your NMC licensure. So it's the same thing. The only way, or the only reason you will need an experience, if you're going to go through an agency or a direct hire from your home country. If you're already in the US, you don't have that problem.
okay. So if you're going through the agency route, which obviously you said will be easier, how many years of experience do they require?
Usually between 1 to 3 years and about 1 year,
Okay.
it's okay.
All right. So now I have a diploma in nursing. I have the 2 years or a year experience. What is the first step I should take to become a USRN?
The first step is your credential evaluation.
Okay.
You
A- And
schooled in
and
it.
and this is transcript evaluating your
This is
diploma
transcriptive.
transcript. All right.
Yes. This is you evaluating your transcript into the American system. You schooled in a different country.
Mhm.
So for your transcript to be able to be accepted, you have to be able to translate or transition it into the country that you want to practice in. So you're going
Okay.
to do what we call credential evaluation, also known as your transcript evaluation. And you're going to do that through a transcript evaluation service. In Ghana, I think the most effective one is CGFNS, which is very popular. in Ghana. A lot of people know about CGFNS. If you have already migrated in the United States, you have so many options. We have JSNA, CGFNS, ERES, and a lot more. That is the first, and I can say that is the most important step, because it's your transcript evaluation that is going to make you eligible for the NCLEX itself. If you are not able to go through the transcript evaluation, okay, if you are not able to go through the transcript evaluation successfully, there will be no NCLEX process to follow up. So
Right. So this is the website that could be used for the credential evaluation. Let me know if you can hear me.
I can
Okay.
hear you.
Right. So this is the website. I'm trying to share that. This is the website, the CGFNS, that could be used for the credential evaluation, right?
Something is covering it. I couldn't see.
Okay.
So this is CGFNS. Yes,
Okay.
this is CGFNS. So if you are using CGFNS, you have to go there, create an account, and then you're going to put your documents over there to start the process.
Right. So there are people who want to join us, ask us questions live. So if you are going through the process or you have an interest to go through the process, there is a link that I shared directly on the social media platforms. Click on that. You can join us, and then you can ask Nessa Kosia directly your questions. You can also type them in the comment section. If you have any other questions, to let us know. So this is the first website. Can you give us an idea how much it will cost to get the transcript evaluated by this company?
Do not quote me, but you are looking anywhere from $400 and up.
Okay. Okay.
So it
Great.
depends on how many documents you have to evaluate, how long. They have an expedite service where you get your transcript much faster and you have to pay more for that. Also, if you're going to need translation, I'm pretty sure you don't only have Ghanaians on your platform. You could be coming from Cameroon, you could be coming from other non-English speaking countries. So let's say your nursing was done in French. They have to also do what we call translation, which means they're translating your transcript from your native language or your local language into the American language. So with you, you're going to need evaluation and translation. So
Oh,
your
okay.
cost is going to be different.
All right. So we have the evaluation that now you mentioned there are two pathways of doing this. You can go through an agency. You can also do a direct hire. Now, if you are going through an agency, do you still have to pay for the credential evaluation yourself, or the company would do that?
It depends on what company you are using. Some companies take the entire cost with the registration and everything, and some companies will have you do your evaluation and then they will take it from there and they will reimburse you after the whole process is over. So it depends on what what company you are using for your agency. Right now, a lot of agencies have made so many changes, so you have to do your due diligence to know which one you are going for. Most of them, from what I know, most of them take the entire cost. I think the only thing that you will have to take is like your plane tickets, and then they will, take that from when you get a job and things like that. Some of them also will have you do one or two things by yourself, and they will reimburse you after the process.
Yeah, when I listen to your TikTok videos, you talk about, before you start this process, it involves a lot of planning. Now, let's have somebody who want to go through the process to plan financially and, in terms of time.
Mhm.
If I have a diploma in nursing, I have the 2-year experience, and I want to become a US RN, how long do you think I should give myself? Like, what time period duration are we looking for?
If you
Looking at
are
it?
if you're in the United States, and even if you are in Ghana, this is what I tell my people. The
Mhm.
process itself is not as smooth as we talk about. It can be a little challenging, it can be a little stressful. So
Right.
I don't want you to give yourself a too little time and then you get too stressed out. I tell people give yourself anywhere from 3 months to 12 months. And people are like, that's too much. But this is how you are able to give yourself some grace instead of having to be stressed out that, oh, I was supposed to get this within 6 months, within 3 months. Why is it not here? I give myself, oh, my people, 3 months too, because you can have it done as little as 3 months, and you
Okay.
can have it done as most, it can even go above 12 months, depending on where you are and what goes on. So let's take an example of a person that is already in the United States.
Mhm.
You don't have to go through a visa screening and all that as a person that is coming from Ghana, or as a person that doesn't have a permit to work in America, right?
Right.
So with you, the credential evaluation part is what takes the most time.
Mhm.
So let's say, for example, you go through CGFNS, you've registered with CGFNS. CGFNS is now going to send you a form to fill out to send to your school. And
Okay.
your school is going to bring them your official transcript directly to them. So your transcript or your form could be sitting in your school for 3 months and no one had touched it. So that is why I say give yourself some more time, because your school can decide to delay the whole process. If
Mm.
you also have to do clearance that we do in Ghana, before you are able to practice in America and other countries, they have to make sure that you do not have any issues with your board of nursing back home.
Right.
So they are going to do clearance. They are going to make sure that you are cleared, you are clean from your country. And your clearance can also take a long time. It could take a long time for them to receive your clearance for Ministry of Health and from NMC. So all these are things that can delay your process. And that's why I tell people give yourself about 3 to 12 months. That way you don't get surprises along the way. If you're already in the US, you have your clearance already and you know what you are doing, you can do it as little as 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. Let's talk about the second factor, which is the finances or the money aspect. How
Okay.
much should I budget for?
The one that takes the most money is the credential evaluation or transcript evaluation phase. As I said earlier, you may have to budget anywhere from $400 up. I can't do the translation to the Ghana city now because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know the rates. Yes. So between $400, if you can and you have the money, you have to plan bigger. So you pay for your transcript evaluation and then you pay for your board of nursing registration.
Mhm.
Some board of nursing take as little as 20 to about $50. The board of nursing registration is not that much. It's
Right.
about 20 to 30. Some states take $35, some take $50.
Okay.
And then you have to pay for the actual NCLEX exams, which is about $200.
Okay.
So you can put those together.
All right. So we got to so we are now going with a diploma, some qualification. I've gotten my credential evaluation done by CJFNS. What is next after the evaluation?
So between your evaluation and waiting for your evaluation report, you have to
Mhm.
do your board of nursing registry.
Okay.
Because once your report is ready, the evaluation service is going to send the official report directly to a board of nursing. So you
Mhm.
have to have a board of nursing that you have registered with, so they can send your reports there. So between that, you also want to register. Sometimes people ask, which one should I do first? Should I register with the board first, or should I do my evaluation first? The evaluation takes the most time, it takes the most money, and is the most stressful. It's the most important part. Since it takes time, you have to start with that. And along the line, also register with the Board of Nursing. So the second thing is to register with the Board of Nursing. The Board of Nursing is going to have you do a background check. They are going to also take some documentation from you. If you are in the US, you're going to do your fingerprints. You're going to send them like a driver's license, some form of ID
Mhm.
and things like that. Your permanent registration, if you're eligible to work in the US or not. If you are not in Ghana, they are going to take your background check. And in Ghana, the background check is sometimes what we call the police report. So you're going to have a police report and send to them. And they're also going to have a physical address that they can mail you something, your email address and all that. So your bio data should be with the Board of Nursing.
All right.
So that's the next thing to do.
So then, after that, what would be next? Would it be the NCLEX?
After that, then you are sitting and waiting for your report. Once your report is in and the report says so and so is eligible to take the NCLEX RN or the NCLEX PN,
Mhm.
and then you have to go, you wait for your board of nursing to send you what we call authorization to test, ATT. So the
Okay.
authorization is what you're going to use to register for the NCLEX. And the NCLEX is not administered by the Board of Nursing. It is not.
Mm.
People get so confused about this. The Board of Nursing is where you are registering with. The Board of Nursing is like your NMC in your home country. So you register with them, but the exams is not administered by the Board of Nursing. And the reason is each state has its own Board of Nursing, and the exams is national. So one state cannot administer an exams to another state, and
Okay.
therefore the exams itself is being administered by a body we call Pearson VUE. So once you get your authorization from the nursing board, you use that authorization pin to register for the NCLEX at Pearson VUE.
I see. So, can one study on their own to write the NCLEX? Do they necessarily need to, attend some classes? What do you advise, since you have experience writing it?
You can study by yourself. Of course, if you trust yourself, you can study by yourself for sure. Um, Depending on who you are and how you study best. The people that I mentor, what I tell them is that know yourself, know how you study best. Some people study best when they sit behind a computer or sit in a class and are thoughts. Some people want to read by themselves. There are
Mm.
lots of resources and different ways that you can study. So yes, you can study by yourself and pass. As a matter of fact, a lot of people study by themselves and pass. I did study by myself. We have resources that you can study by yourself and pass. If you are the type that you think, I've been out of nursing school for quite a while, or I study best when I'm being taught, you can also attend English review classes. Some courses give you videos and lecture notes also, just like you sit in the classroom. So it depends on how best you study and what materials will work for you. And I also do material recommendation, depending on once I have a one-on-one chat with you and I know how you study best, I'm able to recommend study materials for you.
Okay. So in terms of this process, is there a difference between someone going through the process with a 4-year bachelor in nursing degree and someone having a diploma? Is there a difference?
It's the same thing. There's no
Okay. So,
difference in that.
okay. So if I do have a diploma in nursing down, I do not necessarily have to worry myself to get a top up to get a BSN before starting the process.
You do not have to. However, the higher education you have, the higher chances you have to go to places. That's one thing I believe in.
Mm.
So if you have a degree, of course, that saves you time when it comes to if there's a state that is too into some courses that they will, because there are some states they are very strict. They need a lot of credit hours towards some certain subjects, especially like English language,
Mm.
anatomy, physiology, things like that. So that will save you from not able to go to certain states that maybe you wish you would go to. However, being an associate degree and a bachelor's degree in nursing, there's no difference in the process.
Oh,
Besides, we
okay.
all do the same job. It might be few couple of dollars more, but yeah.
All right, if you're just tuning in, I'm speaking with Nessa Kosia. Nessa Kosia is giving us insight into how you can become, as an international nurse, you can become a US RN. She has been through the process and she's sharing her journey with us. I understand you are a travel nurse. I'll come back to track. Let me go there a little bit. What's the difference between being a travel nurse and what's the opposite of travel nurse, by the way? A stationary nurse? Is that a,
A
is that
staff
a,
nurse.
A staff nurse. Okay. So what's the
Yes.
difference? Like, being a travel nurse. Travel nurse. Okay, the little idea I have is like, you go to
Mhm.
different hospitals and different places to
Mhm.
become to be a nurse over there, right?
Right.
What is the difference? Like, what is the benefit that comes with wanting to travel to different cities and not being stationary? Yeah.
The money.
Okay. Okay. So they pay you
Okay.
more when you move around?
Yeah. So once you get your nursing license, that is the freedom to fly. Once you get your nursing license, you can be anything you want to be as a nurse. One thing about nursing in America, the branches that are here, you'll be amazed. Once you have your nursing license, you can be any form of nurse that you want to.
Okay.
Now, before I come to your question, let me chip this in. Back
Mhm.
home in Ghana, if you want to be a psychiatric nurse, right, then you have to go to psychiatric nursing training
Yeah.
college. if you want to be a pediatric nurse, then you have to maybe do a top up and become a pediatric nurse, geriatrics. And in America here, it's not like that. All you need is your RN license, and then you can fly, which, you can spread your wings to wherever. Let's say if you're an ICU, intensive care unit nurse, all you need to do is you have your RN license and then you apply to an ICU unit. Once you get hired, you become an ICU nurse. You don't have to go to a different nursing school to become a critical nurse or to become a psych nurse. So that's one thing that, US RN is like, to me, that's one thing that I really like. Because if I wanted to transition into psych in Ghana, then I have to go to a psych training college. Here,
Yeah.
I just have to apply to a psych hospital and then I become a psych nurse, right? So, with the difference between being a traveler and being a staff nurse. So, with staff nurse, a particular hospital has employed you and you work for that particular hospital.
Mm.
You work for that health system only and they pay you. As a traveler, I can go to any hospital that I want to work in as long as I have the license for that particular state that I
Oh,
want to go to. You can go nationwide, you can go anywhere that you wish to go. We usually do travel nursing through an agency. They will get you a contract. So it's like instead of being employed by the hospital, I have a contract with the hospital to work certain amount of months or time frame, and then I move.
all
It,
right.
it pays a little more.
Great. So we got to where we would take the anklets and all that. So now
Mm.
we've passed the anklets. Do you think like people are able to pass the anklets once and for all? Do people have to write in multiple like Novdek anklets? Do we
One thing that we hear a lot is NCLEX is very difficult to pass.
Oh, okay.
People talk about that a lot.
Mm.
People ask me that in my DMs, are people able to pass this NCLEX? Do you know any Ghanaians that are passing? A lot of people are passing and passing once. You'll be amazed how many people pass the NCLEX. Even people that haven't been in America before, a lot of them are passing. I
Okay.
currently have about 4 people who have already passed their NCLEX. They are still in Ghana. They are now going through their visa screening phase, to get a chance to travel. So yes, it is very doable. You just have to have someone or have the right resources to study to be able to pass. It is not, it's a standardized exams that I will tell you. It's
Mm.
not your everyday quiz, your everyday lecture quiz that you would take, because this is exams that is giving you a license to practice as a nurse. So
Mhm.
definitely is a standard, but it's doable. People pass in their first try. A lot of people actually pass, and there are some people who also get second chances to rewrite. I don't say they fail. I just tell them, oh, you couldn't get it the first time. You just had a second chance, or third, fourth, fifth, whichever number of times you have to. And the number of times you sit for the NCLEX doesn't determine the kind of nurse you become.
Okay. So an exams like the SAT. SAT is written if you want to apply for a bachelor's degree, especially in the US, and you want a scholarship. The highest you could get is 1,600 or 1,600. And if people get 1,300 and above, be considered a stronger one. How is the NCLEX marking scheme like, and what are you supposed to get?
That the NCLEX marking scheme is totally different,
Mm,
because the NCLEX itself comes in categories.
okay.
And it is what we call a computer adaptive test. That means you sit behind the computer and the computer gives you the questions based on your performance and your knowledge level. The computer is able to ascertain your knowledge level. So
Mm,
we have the questions comes in, less difficult, not very much, and then difficult questions, depending on how well you are doing. So the NCLEX scores, it really depends on how well you are doing, because there are about 9 categories on the NCLEX itself. So, we have your ability to be able to pass certain questions within each category is what scores you. So the computer is what is actually giving you the score. And we have, I think it's about 85 to about 145. I stand to be corrected, questions for the
mhm.
NCLEX RN. So you can get anywhere from as little as 85 questions. It used to be 75 when I took mine. Now
Okay.
it's 85. So you can pass as little as 85 questions, and you can fail as little as 85 questions. You can pass as much as 145 questions, and you can fail as much as 145. So someone will sit and get 85 questions, someone will get 90 questions. So it goes from, it's a range. So it depends on how you are doing. And the scoring itself, it's a whole thing that we will have to go through. So that is like a glimpse of it. You have to be able to score in all these categories to be able to pass the test.
Okay, so you have been through. So I would ask for some tips for somebody who is trying it for the first time. But for somebody who does not have an idea, like you have taken WASI before, you have also taken the Ghana nursing licensure exams.
Right.
How do you rate them? In terms of the NCLEX, putting it apart the NCLEX. It's more difficult. The WASI is more difficult.
I wouldn't say difficult.
Yeah.
I would say the NCLEX is more standardized. It's more particular. You have to have studied in that direction to be able to pass. The preparation is the same. You know how we prepare for WASI. You are studying all these different subjects to be able to pass the WASI. It's the same thing. Just that with the NCLEX, one sitting, you are doing all these subjects. So instead of sitting one day for maths, one day for English, the NCLEX, you are sitting one day for all of that.
How many hours is it?
It can take you anywhere from an hour to, I'm not sure how long it goes. Like I said, the question is a range between 85 to about 145, if I'm correct. So that depends on how long it takes you for the computer to ascertain that you need a second chance, or the computer thinks you're doing great, so I should give you a score.
If you fail, do you pay for it?
Do you pay if you have to register for NCLEX again, you have to pay for it again.
Oh, okay. So anytime how many chances do you have to get to take it? Like, is there a certain number that says that with the one do you like or you can take it as many as you want?
You can take it as many as you want, but in between each test taking, the nursing board, they give you something. Every board has different, but they give you about 45 days, because it's like, okay, you need some days to study before you sit again. So you can take it as many as you want, but it's not just going to make you take, like, you take it this Monday, you fail, and then you take it the next Monday. No, there's always a time frame in between each test taking
Yeah, we have close to 1,000 people watching us across all our social media platforms. We'll be taking some questions, right? From the comments, and also people who want to ask. Emmanuel Ados, how you doing, sir? You want to talk to? He has requested for a very long time. Wanted to see if he has a question. Hi, Emmanuel. You have to unmute your microphone, sir. Your microphone is muted. Okay. Oh, Yuma cannot find the mute button. Let's see. When he finds it, then he bounces back. All right. So there's no limitation. Once you are paying, you can write as many as you want.
For some states, I know within a year they only allow you to write it 8 times, and that is because of the time frame they give you between. So you can't even go past 8, because let's say you take it in this month and you're not able, you have up till about October to be able to take it again, because it's 45 days, so it's more than a month, right? So that kind of limits you how many times you can take it. But I also know some people, they are not Ghanaians, that have taken the test 10 times.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think you'll be cut off completely.
How many times did you take it? Once?
I took it once, and that time the limited number was 75. I got 75 questions. I took it in less than 2 hours. It was an hour and 30 minutes.
Then you have some tips and just that could help us. So, because I'm wondering that if somebody has been able to go through nursing school already and then they are preparing for the NCLEX, what would make someone take it multiple times? You give us the ideas. Like, what did you do differently such that you were able to take it once?
For me, and this is something that I told my mentees to do, I may not share it all. That's because people are paying for it. But for me, my process took longer. As I said, I came here on a green card. and then decided to do my English process. So I was already in the US when I was going through my process. And
Okay.
it took a little longer for my transcript evaluation report to be ready. And when I say longer, that's why I tell people to give yourself time. It took more than 12 months. The reason is the person that was working on my case decided to take a break, didn't report to the agency or anything. So mine was like lost. I had to start the process again.
Right.
So all this time I was studying. One thing that helped me really the most was that I did a lot of content. I studied content to be able to understand, because you've been through nursing school, but even the people that schooled here in America, nothing prepares them for the NCLEX, because
Yeah.
the theory part is preparing you how to be a nurse. It's not preparing you how to take the NCLEX. And that is why, even if you school here in America, after nursing school, some schools have to still take you through NCLEX registration, NCLEX preparation. Like they take a different courses to prepare. Some
Yeah.
schools use the HESI, some use the Kaplan to now prepare them for the NCLEX itself. So you that did not school here, there are certain things that you may be lacking. So
Right.
the test taking strategies, some contents that we probably were not exposed to, especially when it comes to pharmacology. Medicine is universal, right? But there are some protocols and principles that changes, especially treatment plans, medications, and things like that might be different. So you need time to at least go through some content. That's why we call it review, to
Okay.
revise yourself of some of the things. And then you do questions. The questions is going to help you to know how the test is wired, right? How some of the questions you may meet. So what I tell people is that at least do some content, get a review that has content, do the content and do questions and give yourself some time to study. A lot of people rush into it and then they get surprised because they're like, oh, we didn't know that was how it was going to be. So you
Right.
have to take your time and familiarize yourself with how the NCLEX itself is like before you
Right.
take it.
Let's see if we can speak to Emmanuel Ado now. Emmanuel, you have to mute your microphone. If you do have a question, you can also put in a request. I'm sharing the link across all of our social media platforms, and you can join us. Emmanuel, you have to unmute your microphone to talk to us. You cannot find the unmute button. All right. Ima, there is something like a microphone that is being crossed. You need to okay. Anyway.
You need to press on it to
it's
be
it,
able to
it's it.
talk.
Let's pick some
It might
questions
take a
inside.
minute. Oh,
Yeah. So how do somebody get in touch? Nkrumah, we responded to this, but can you quickly respond to that?
how to get in touch with
Yes.
me?
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, you can follow me on TikTok if you are watching from TikTok and send me a DM. Or if you go to my TikTok, the link, my bio, I have a link there. It's a link tree. There are two options over there. And I always encourage, if you're a first timer with me, just schedule a one-on-one call. That way I can get time to sit with you. I can get to know you, your journey, where you are, and then I can direct you from there. I also have a mentorship and coaching link that you can join my mentorship program. Before you can join the mentorship program, you have to have that one-on-one talk with me.
All
So
right.
that's the best way to contact me. I also have a flyer on my page, and it has my contact number and some other information that may help you.
Great. And then the TikTok name is Nessa Akusia, right?
It's Akosia.
Just Akusia.
Yes.
Okay, great. I will try to see if I can share it on the screen.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a bit challenging here, but TikTok on the website is a bit challenging. But I will try to see if I could share that here so that people can easily figure that out and follow. Remember, the stream will also be live across all the Fred Effect social media platforms. So it makes it easy if you miss anything that we discuss. Emmanuel, can you find or
I
mute
have
myself?
another TikTok. It's Nurse Enchua, and I do most
Okay.
of my nursing there. Sometimes I direct people to come there because my TikTok account it's all over.
Hmm.
One thing about me, if you know me.
Yeah.
So the Nurse Enchua is basically for nursing, but I don't have much followers there, so I'm not able to go on live and things like that over there. So that's also one. You can follow me there, and there it's only
Right.
nursing content that I post there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. So I'm trying to see if I could share. This is like a one-man production, so I do everything on myself. So I
On
am
your
trying to
own.
see if I can put that.
Got you.
Emmanuel, Okay. Go ahead, Emmanuel. All right. So let's see. Other questions. You said there's a question you look familiar. Kwame Domako. Um, somebody's asking, let's see. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, Justin, on Facebook. Let's see. We've responded to this question. Promise, thank you for tuning in on Facebook. And also, can you respond to this question? Is it possible? What is the process of international student to become a social worker in the US? Is this something you want to talk about?
As a social worker, no, since it's not my field. However, one thing people need to understand is that you can be whatever you want to be once you move here in America.
Yeah.
The thing you should be looking into, how do you get here?
Mm,
Fred, even as a nurse, once you get here, like I said, you can spread your wings as wide as you want. There are 51 plus states. So whatever you want to do, there's enough room for you to do. As a
gotcha.
social worker, I know they go to school to have a social worker license. So you have to have a case management, they call it a case management license. And as a nurse, you can be a case manager or a social worker, as we talk about. As to the requirements for international, I'm enable. My advice will be you get your way to get to America and you can go through that process.
Yeah. So as Dal is asking that, do we have NCLEX in midwifery?
We
Okay.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So the NCLEX, I need to clarify this a little. I
Right.
believe people do not understand the word NCLEX itself. So the NCLEX is not any exams like the SAT or the TOEFL, it is not.
Mm-hmm.
The NCLEX stands for National. Sorry, it's a licensing exams. I would want to define it. It's a licensing exams for nurses, and midwives are considered nurses as well. In Ghana, since we have divided our nursing into so many categories, people don't see themselves as once you take care of people in the hospital, you are not you are a midwife is a nurse specialty. Let me put it that way. So you
Right.
are also a nurse. A community health nurse is also a nurse. A psych nurse is also a nurse. We
Mm.
just don't put tags on it. In Ghana, it's very difficult for a midwife to accept themselves as nurses. You are also a nurse. If you define the midwifery, it's also under nursing. So yes, you also do have to have a license to practice, so you can take the NCLEX exams.
If I'm a nurse from Ghana and I'm already practicing somewhere like in the UK already, is the
Mhm.
process different?
The process is the same for all internationally educated people or international nurses. You still have to go through your transcript evaluation, your
Mhm.
clearance. So, as a nurse in UK, you might have already done your clearance, so you don't have to go through the clearance phase anymore. One of the advantages for UK nurses and other English speaking countries is that most states will not have you have an English proficiency test because you are in the UK. Most nurses in UK have already taken the IELTS test, so that is an advantage for them. However, you still have to go through the same process, register with the nursing board, do your credential evaluation, and take the NCLEX.
If I schooled in Ghana, do I still have to take the English proficiency exams?
Some states require you to still take an English proficiency exams. The English proficiency exams used to be just for non-English speaking countries, correct?
Mhm.
Right. But for some states, you have to. As long as you didn't school in America, you have to take an English proficiency test. Some states will allow you to do what we call exemption. So you that is registering for the NCLEX, you have to choose what state will work for you.
Oh, okay. Douglas is asking, and does someone with a 2-year certificate in general nursing qualify for an NCLEX?
You may qualify for the NCLEX PN. There are two forms of the NCLEX. We have the NCLEX RN and the NCLEX PN. The NCLEX PN is what you take to become an LPN, a licensed practical nurse, and the NCLEX RN is what you take to become a registered nurse. So if you have a 2-year certificate program, that means you do not have all the credits that you need to be a registered nurse. So you will have to go through the LPN routes.
I see. How about with a public health background?
Yes, you can. as long as you have done some form of nursing. Now, let me put this across.
Mhm.
Me saying you can does not mean you are automatically eligible. That is the reason why you have to go through the credential or transcript evaluation phase. It is the transcript evaluation phase that deems you eligible. Now, if you just ask me, as long as you have done some form of nursing school, you are eligible to take a license and practice in the field that you qualify for. So that you still qualify, but I cannot deem you eligible. Your transcript evaluation is what would deem you eligible. As a matter of fact, um, when I first started, most of my people that I worked with, they were all enrolled nurses. And
Hmm.
that is the 2-year certificate program. They
I
are all
see.
enrolled nurses. Mhm.
Okay. So Joshua is watching us from Boga. Shout out to Joshua. Prince, thank you for tuning in. Naftali, if I got the name right, thank you for tuning in on YouTube as well. Isaac Kwame Awonyo, Ifo, thank you for tuning in. Prince, thank you for tuning in as well. Bright Kodia on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. So it's been a great conversation. I want us to finalize with after I pass the NCLEX. Now what next?
Now you have to look for a job.
Okay.
Okay. Or you have to go through the visa screening, depending on where you find yourself.
Hmm.
So if you are not in America, or if you don't have eligibility to work in the US, then now you have to have, if you are not in America, then you have to have a visa, right? You have to be able to travel to practice your nursing. So you have to
Right.
go through your visa screening, your immigration process, and all that. That will be for someone. If you are already in America, you have your green card or your work permit, then you have to prepare and just get a job. The difference is that back home in Ghana, once you pass your NMC, you just wait for the government to post you, right? That's what
Mhm.
we do.
Yeah.
Here, there's nothing like postings. You have to look for a job yourself. In America, the government doesn't absorb nurses, right? So you have to look for a job. That is when the resume creation and preparing for interviews comes in.
I see. It's been a great conversation. I really appreciate your time. It's been a little bit of back and forth and stress, but I really enjoyed the conversation. And
Mhm.
thank you for coming on. Um, w-
Of course.
if you are transitioning from Ghana, if you're not already here, what are some of the challenges you anticipate people will face in the process?
One of them is getting a visa.
Okay.
We all know what is going on now. It's getting a little more maybe difficult for you to be able to secure a visa for yourself. The passing the NCLEX does not automatically give you a visa, but
Mhm.
you can use the NCLEX to find a job, and then just as you go through the visa screening process, go through your visa screening process and get a visa. There you have to convince an officer why they should allow you to travel. So that is the most challenging part if you are not in America. The other thing is being able to secure yourself a job, especially with the people that go through the direct hire link. That means you have to find a job, and sometimes the job will have to sponsor you to bring you to America. It used to be the most easier and most, I wouldn't say easier, but the most maybe vibrant, if I can use that word, way to come in, because always hospitals are always in need of nurses. America is always short of nurses. Regardless of how many nurses comes out each year, we are still short of nurses each year, each time, because the health system here is different. It's a lot of health systems that are looking for nurses to work with. So they used to sponsor a lot of international nurses to work in America.
Right.
However, a lot of things have changed for them with the immigration process and all that. They are still doing it. A lot of health systems are still doing it, but it's not as frequent as they used to. So getting a direct hire job for them to sponsor you to travel is can also be a little challenging. One thing that I tell people is that you just have to look where they are looking for more nurses. People
Mhm.
do not understand this. In America, here, we have a lot of health systems, and the health system is what employs you. So we have
Right.
the Unity. with Unity Point Health System, we have the Ascension Health System, we have the St. Luke's Health System, we have VCU. We have a lot of, we have a lot of different health systems, and these health systems have different hospitals in different cities and different states. And sometimes most people are just looking at the hospitals in the bigger states.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the bigger states, the bigger cities, and they might not be doing a visa sponsorship program. So you look for the hospital, the health system, apply with the health system. So if they have, let's say Ascension has a hospital in a different city that is lacking nurses, they may decide to send you there.
Okay.
Also, if you are finding it difficult to do a direct hire, go through the agency route. This is what my people think. They think that once you go through the agency is going to hire you, and the money the hospital is giving you, the agency is going to take some of your money, so you're going to be paid less. Fred, it will surprise you that I have some agency nurses that get paid more than a staff nurse.
Oh, wow.
The reason is that so the agencies are making commission off of you.
Okay.
So how much the hospital is paying you is how much they're able to, they are going to calculate their commission off. So
Mm.
nobody is going to go for a less rate because then their
Mhm.
commission is less, right?
Yeah,
So they are
exactly.
always able to, yes, they're always able to negotiate for good pay. The
Mm.
only thing is that you're going to have a contract with them and you're going to be stuck with them for at least 2 to 3 years,
Okay.
depending on how many years of contract they have with you. And that is what people don't like. But let me tell you, even if a hospital hires you and sponsor you, you're going to be stuck with them probably more same number of years.
Mm.
And before you are able to go to any form of nursing, let's say into travel nursing or agency nursing or whatever, you still need at least 1 to 2 or 3 years of experience. So
Yeah.
you being with an agency is not only going to help you secure a job, it's also going to help you with the experience to be able to fly higher if you want to. I had a colleague when she had a multiple entry visa. So when
Mm-hmm.
she first came, she asked me, "What can I do?" And I said, "Whatever you do, don't waste your visa. Okay,
Right.
so start the process, go back home, come back if you can. And whilst you are doing your back and forth, you are also going through the process." So she did that.
All right.
And once she took her NCLEX and she passed, she was like, "What can I do?" And I said, "Get an agency here in America and have them help you with your immigration process. They can switch your multiple entry visa into a permanent residency visa for you. And
Mm.
then they are going to give you a contract with a hospital and they are going to make money off of you. You're going to be stuck with them between 2 to 3 years. But trust me, after the 2 to 3 years, which is going to come anyways, you have the experience, you have your green card, and you can fly higher. And
Okay.
right now, as we are talking, she's a nurse manager at Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And yes, that she registered with Ultimate Care here in America. They helped her with her visa and all that. She was able to go through the immigration, got her green card, and she worked in Florida for that agency for 2 years. After 2 years, she had the option to either renew with them or go because she's done with them. Right. Some agencies have a number of hours you have to do, and
Mm.
those hours will definitely transition into years because some have like 5,000 or so hours, and that will transition into about 2 years with them. Once you are done with them, you're good to go. So she started traveling for a year and she got a position as a nurse manager. So that is one route. If you are finding it difficult, which can be a thing, just go through the agency route, and sometimes they are able to secure you a job faster than direct hire. That is not saying direct hire is not doable. Yes, it
Right.
is. You can still. Mhm.
Awesome. So I'm trying to share your TikTok handle.
Okay.
So sharing it on the website is a little bit different when you're using a
Of
phone, but
course.
yeah,
Mhm.
so it's a bit challenging. But yeah, she's very beautiful, a very beautiful lady. People are asking in the comment if she's married. Would you want to respond to that? She's married, man. Yeah. Somebody's wife like that too.
I'm a
Okay.
nurse. That's what I know.
All right, so check out Akosua Chua, so Obapa underscore Akosua Chua. That is the name on TikTok. Check out her
Yes.
handle and then follow. She makes a lot of insightful content, ideas, share information about how her experience is going as a nurse and how you can also go through the process. So that is the TikTok handle. And the link tree is already here. So when you click on it, let me share that real quick. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. So when you click on the link tree, it takes you here, and then you'll be able to click on the USRN mentorship coaching program, and then USRN one-on-one consultation booking as well. Of course, if you're in Ghana, you can use Momo, any PayPal. There's a lot of options you can use to pay. So when let's begin. If you're just tuning in, this is how you want to go about it. Somebody has been through the process. She's not gatekeeping. She's sharing a lot of ideas and information on her TikTok. You can follow and then understand what goes on. However, if you also want to have a one-on-one conversation, consultation, there is an option to do that. Click on if you go to TikTok, the link tree is here. So when you click on it, it takes you directly to the Linktree website, and you'll be able to click on any of these to schedule. Her Instagram handle is here, her TikTok, and also an option to email. So yeah, it's been a great session. I appreciate you going through a process and deciding not to gatekeep, but also share your experience so that our brothers and sisters who want to go through similar process will benefit from this information. God bless you for doing it. Any final words before we wrap up?
I wasn't able to hear you earlier, but I don't think you asked any questions, so that is okay. Yeah.
I was just praising you. Yeah, I was praising you.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, thank you.
Yeah, so what will be your final words to everybody who tuned in today? Unfortunately, I'm trying to bring Emmanuel on. He's not able to find our mute button. So Emmanuel, that's unfortunate.
Emmanuel, you should be able to unmute yourself for me to hear you. But you can also post your question in the comment section, I think.
Yeah, and we'll be able to respond to it. And we have a lot of people tuning in today. So over 1,000 people watching us live. And from where we are, from where internet is a little bit expensive, if you have that number of people tuning in to watch, it means that you are sharing a very insightful content. All right. So any final words to people who tune in, and hopefully we'll get you back some other time.
Right. Don't say it's difficult to be able to schedule.
I'm not going to say that. I'm just not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, people do not know things that happen behind the scenes before I'm able to get a guest on, but that's okay.
Well, I would say thank you so much for having me.
But I would say it has been worth it. The wait, the back and it has been worth it. For the information you poured out today, it's really been worth it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know it's been since June, so
yeah, man.
It's not always that difficult to get me, right? I just if you can see my page, if you know me, I like to have fun, so I get busy.
Yeah, I understand.
I get busy with that, but that is one thing that Nelson can get you into. It makes me be able to do what I want to do and where I want to be. My words to people is that, Fred, as a matter of fact, you are doing a very, very, very good job, a very great job. It used to be where people will gatekeep because nobody wants you to know what they are doing in America, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants you to know what they are doing when they travel. I don't want people to know how I even got here. I don't want people to even know my process. That was what it used to be. When I first started, it was very difficult to get someone to tell you, oh, I put A and B together to be able to get to where I am. But now, due to people like yourself and other people, they are doing very, very well. They are sharing a lot of information that we used to pay huge sums of money to be able to get people. And even if you have the money, nobody was willing to talk to you because they were afraid you are going to share their story out there. And of course, we are afraid of our home people. You know what I mean? So people will never share what they are doing, their journeys and their, where they are with you. But you are doing a very good job. I usually watch you and you're doing a very great job.
Thank you.
And thank you. That is to say that if you are in Ghana, wherever you find yourself, I started this whole thing. I've been doing it for a long time, as a matter of fact, since 2022. And the reason I started this was I met a lady that I was working with. She was a CNA, and she was like, "Where are you from?" You know how, even though I'm able to speak little English, but you can still tell, say, I'm a typical Ghanaian. She said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Oh, I'm from Ghana." And she said, "Oh, okay." I think she said she was from Kenya or something. And she said, "Oh, I was a nurse back home in my country, but when I came, they said I couldn't do. So she's been, she that time she was a CNA for I think 7 years. And I said, oh, really? Because I was a nurse back home and I came. So she's like, really? I didn't know you could do so, so, and so, and that. And when I also started my process, when I first came and I wanted to go through the process, I had someone tell me, now, permit me to speak, right? Now, diploma nurse in Ghana and the nurse for America. You know that.
Yeah.
So that was what the person told me.
Yeah.
So after I went through the process and everything, I went and showed when I was like here, and she said, "Okay, so did you go back to school?" He told me I had to go back to school to be able to work as a nurse in America because
Mm,
American nurses is considered a washer, Ghana nurse, and our
yeah.
Ghana diploma nurse, the other the better nurse for America. But I want to tell people that it is doable. A lot
Mm,
of people are here in America and they didn't know they could even become nurses directly without having to go to school. I've
right.
met a guy, he's in New York. His uncle told him he had to go to school again because on to me for enroll nursing and even with his enroll nursing, he has bachelor's degree. And I
Mm,
said, you can even use your bachelor's degree just your bachelor's degree to get a degree in nursing in the shortest possible time. So he didn't know. So I'm
right.
telling people that there's so many routes that you can take to be where you want to be.
Mhm.
Whatever certificates that you have, don't let it go waste. As long as you have a piece of certificate, pick it up. Look for the right people for the right resources and the right information, and you can be where you want to be. Sometimes there are certain things that we don't even think it's possible. In our mind, it's not possible. In our
Yeah.
mind, how can a diploma, an enrolled nurse, a certificate nurse in Ghana become a nurse in America? Like it wouldn't sound right in your head. But if you are able to connect yourself with the right people and get the right information and the right guidance, you will be able to get to where you want to get to through a process that you didn't even imagine you can. People like Fred, they are doing a whole remember where we are from, right? Like
Yeah.
who would think that sometimes, and to be honest, me myself, sometimes like when I sit in a panel and I'm interviewing a whole Obroni and telling them I'm not going to hire you or something, I'm like, hold on, like who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like who are you? So you can be wherever you want to be. Just make sure that you don't put yourself in a small box.
Hmm.
Ask the right questions, connect with the right people, ask the right questions. If you have a certificate sitting at home, especially my people that are already in America, my nurses that are
Right.
already in America, that's that certificate and start doing something. Because you wanted to be a nurse when you come to America. Now you started working and it's like you've thrown that thing away.
Mhm.
Please, it's doable. It's still doable. You can do it. People are doing it, so you can also do it.
Definitely. All right. It's been a great session. Thanks. Thanks for all you do. Again, remember that you can easily.
Did I lose connection?
Okay. So sometimes I mistakenly click on the wrong button and I'm somewhere else. Okay.
Mhm. Can
Okay.
you hear me now?
So yeah, I'm back now. So I shared the TikTok handle. If you just tuned in, remember you're not late. This live session will still be live. Will still be on the Fred Effect social media platforms on Facebook, on YouTube. We streamed on X. We also streamed on TikTok and Instagram at the same time. So wherever you're comfortable checking it out, it will be there for you to learn from the ideas and information. Nessa Kusia poured out today. I don't know why I keep on calling you Nessa Kusia. You know, yeah,
It's okay. I'm
poured
a
out
nurse,
today.
so
Right. So yeah, it's been a great session. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. That
thank you.
finally we got to do it. Right. Have a good one. All right. It's been a great session. If you just tuned in, you're not late. I'm trying to change the location a little bit, so if you see my background is a little bit changing, I'm not stable at one place, so I keep moving. All right, so it's been a great session. Talk to Nessa Kosia if you want to go through the process. If somebody has already done such a thing, it makes it easier. Don't go and struggle and stress yourself. People know the road. Follow who know road, and it makes it easier for you. If you are new on the platform, please subscribe. This is the biggest Study Abroad content platform. What I do is to invite people, like I just did, who have been through a process. They share their journey, their experience with you. It makes it easier for you who would want to accomplish a similar thing. Next week will be with another person, another guest. So every Saturday he's been consistent. This is a consistent platform, and we have the biggest in terms of numbers. We are 178 on YouTube. That is huge. To get 178 from Bole Bamboy doing Study Abroad is huge. On TikTok, we are like 165. On Twitter, we are 45. This is a whole team. So we have I'm just the face and myself with Ben in the UK, but we have a whole team behind the scenes who does a lot of things. At the moment, the Fred Effect team is the only team that assists people who have a diploma and high school who want to apply for a bachelor's degree. We take your document, we apply for you for free. What do you have to do to enjoy this? You need to schedule a one-on-one session with a team, and I'm going to share the link on the screen. Yeah, you use this link to schedule a one-on-one session with a team. We'll take your. So if you just wrote WASSCE, please don't lose God. Don't look at only the higher education institutions in Ghana. There are a lot of opportunities outside for you. It used to be that you have to be from a rich family or to be an extraordinary student to study abroad. No, your D7, your E8, your C5 can still get you a university and a scholarship abroad. Talk to people who know how to go about it, like the Fred Effect team, and we'll be happy to assist you. We do have a collaboration with Argo Visa. With everything going on with this visa process, getting dates and stuff like that, you don't want to try the interview 2 or 3 times. When you are able to secure a date, talk to an ex-visa officer, and the Fred Effect team can guarantee that they would be able to coach you effectively for you to prepare for your either an immigrant visa interview or a non-immigrant visa interview. If you want a DV lottery, talk to the Argo Visa team. They'll go through your DS260. If you're applying for a non-immigrant visa, they'll go through your DS160 for you. Make sure everything is on point before you go for your visa interview. The name has been the Fred Effect. This is the biggest Study Abroad content platform. Be part of the family. Follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, and X, Instagram. The name is the Fred Effect. We are verified across all our social media platforms, I think apart from TikTok. So if you are communicating with somebody who is using a certain WhatsApp number and the person claims to be the Fred Effect, please be careful. We have reports of people being scammed by somebody pretending to be the Fred Effect. Be careful so that you don't fall prey to such things. Please be positive and know that everything will be fine. I'll see you next week.